Hey hens, how we all diddly doing? How's everybody holding up? We are back with our Sims 4 save file renovation, and it's kind of hit me that this is going to take a long, not going to swear, bloody time. Yes, you can say hello.
Hello!
Oh my god, not shout it. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, Angel. You came running as soon as you heard me say hey hens, didn't you?
Exactly.
I just heard the door handle go. But today we are back, and I've kind of been wanting to do it like these little neighbourhood areas, but I took some of your like suggestions kind of thing. I took your comments on board from the last one, and the speed of the actual thing was too fast, and I thought sometimes maybe I can get away with including an entire neighbourhood. Other times it might not be necessary, so this time I'm not going to include the entire neighbourhood because it's just like this little Victorian part of it, but I'm going to include the two main players in it. Dun dun dun! So, hey hens, I'm just interrupting the introduction to let you know that we have Not So Lonely Being Dead jumpers in stock at Luna Ryle for Valentine's Day. We also do have worldwide shipping now, and Dad Bella is also doing a Valentine's special mug. God help us. Are we ready? Ooh, you know I see you standing there. Do I look good, my dear? Honestly, that storyline with Zoe 101 and Chase had me. It could have killed me. I was watching that Zoe 101 season finale with bated breath. I don't even know if that's the fucking right saying, but you know what? My mind plucked it and I went beep, 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 bap, bap, boop. Got it. Here we are. I decided to make over the Goth family. I know that they are getting a refresh and everything, and I love that for them. Honestly, so well deserved, babe. So well deserved. But I also thought that I wanted to include my renovation of the Goths. You can't renovate people, can you? You can in therapy, babe, which I am in. Don't know if you can tell. It is my year. But yes, I decided to renovate the Goths, and you may be able to see Jessica, there's something missing here. Yes, she's gone. She's absolutely gone. In my meetings for the year when we were talking about the Goth makeover, I was like, the coolest thing that you could do, like the most exceptional makeover to the Goth family would be to just completely remove Bella. Just get rid of her. Get her gone. And, you know, they didn't decide to go with that idea. I think they wanted to actually like make over Bella, which is absolutely so valid. You know what I mean? Live your truth, babe. Protect your inner peace and everything. But I thought, I'm just one for the chaos. Do you know what I mean? So that is exactly what I've done. I got rid of her. I think, you know what? It's nothing against Bella, babe. It's nothing against her personality, but I think she's just the most iconic when she's not here. That is the worst insult. Oh my god, can you imagine? You're so iconic when you're not here. I feel like an American bully, but Bella, babe, it's nothing against you personally. She just the full dynamic of the Sims operates so much better when she's not there, and she's such a driving force behind the law that the Sims 4's law was so redundant because it just didn't explain any of it. Like, oh, Mortimer's got her back now, but she disappears sometime. Like, what are you running? Explain yourself. Thank you. So I got rid of her. I'd done that all by myself. I just clicked that X and she's gone. And I thought, well, what would the effects of Bella being gone actually do with the family? And honestly, the kids are kind of fucking thriving, to be honest. No offense to Bella. I'm not saying she's a bad mom. Mortimer is struggling. I thought I'd give him that grey look because my dad went bald when we lost a relative. That is a lot of information. But yeah, I thought that he could kind of, you know how I wanted to view him, right? Obviously, part of my special interest is the Victorian period. We know this. We have been through this, babe. Wait, catch up. And obviously in Victorian periods, and not even just in Victorian periods, like in other countries as well, mourning, M-O-U-R, not M-O-R, mourning attire is heavily prevalent. And I thought, well, that is the route I'm going to go down. So his hair is slightly disheveled. I did try and kind of mess on with like the hair and give him a different style, but I thought no, because if it's anything that he'd still do, it's slick back. Right, he would keep up appearances as much as he possibly could. But I thought, like, every single day, morning attire, because she's fucking gone. If I ever die early, touch wood, be a bit of a relief, honestly, I'm so busy. But if I ever died early, I would want my full funeral black. Everyone mourning, everyone sad. I do not want one display of happiness, right? I want everyone to mourn me. So maybe I'm Bella. Oh my God, is Bella a self-insert character? Potentially could be, yeah. So he's just full on mourning attire. He doesn't know the definition of happiness. He did, briefly see it once when Bella was here, but, she is gone. So full mourning attire, just constantly black. Princess Victoria, Queen Victoria, actually. That is the kind of vibe. Like Bella and Mortimer are Prince Victoria. oh my God, what the fuck is Queen Victoria and Prince Albert? That is the vibe I went with. And do you know what? It fucking suits him. Do you know what I mean? I love the fact that Queen Victoria just fully published the fact that her back was constantly blown out. Jesus. Anyway, could never be me, babe. Literally, I couldn't think of anything worse. Honestly, do not perceive me. So yeah, and then the kids, Alexandra didn't really touch much, but we'll get onto him later. Cassandra, her law. I know you're all thinking she's American. I thought she was a lesbian. So yes, but we'll also touch into that law a little bit later on. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God, that law doesn't work. Oh my God, they're related. Oh my God, what the fuck have I made? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'll just have to unrelate them. We will catch on to this story after the build. So I did consider doing a renovation of the Goth house, but you know what? I thought, honestly, genuinely, no offense to the Sims team, I think like they put all of their effort into Willow Creek base game builds, apart from that one in the corner, the modern one. Ugh. But the Victorian ones, they tried to go hard, but because the Sims 4 was released in like 2014 and so many updates have happened since then, it kind of means that a lot of the builds are just really dated, and not in the sense of like, oh, they're out of fashion, but like that we've got so many more things now that the vibe just isn't there. So I decided to rebuild them a house, and I also wanted to, obviously, you know what, that's my vibe. I really love the Victorian architecture. Fucking hate Victorian clothes though. That's the only thing I'm not obsessed with, and I wish I was, but I fucking hate Victorian clothes, like the high neckline. No. But Victorian architecture, absolutely chef's kiss. Stunning, beautiful, visionary, scary, and I wish we could go back to it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I decided to do like this really haunted kind of vibe, but I didn't want it to be all black. I didn't want it to be like a stereotypical house, because I still want them to be functioning members of society. Do you know what I mean? Capitalism runs deep, babe. You can't just evade the system. You can. And what am I talking about? But I wanted them to be different enough to piss off Eliza. You got to find that right balance, enough to fit in with the game, but also enough to piss off Eliza, which is what we all want at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Fuck you, Eliza. She's on crack. Anyway, so I actually really, really, really deeply enjoyed how this build went. It was a bit of a challenge for me as well, because building big houses it gives me the ick. I don't like it, but I've really enjoyed building this one. She's a changed woman in 2022. Yes, I am. But yeah, it has like this, like, it's got this like castle thing at the front of the house where it's got the roof. You literally know what I'm talking about. I only have to say castle and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I want to do this like wraparound porch thing as well. It's not really like useful, like it's only one tile wide on the side, so you can't really use it, but I like the big like roof overhanging everything. And I also, the design choice, like of the aesthetics, again, I didn't want it to be all black, so I had a mix of black and white, and I think that it worked out quite well, and it doesn't look like, you know, so overtly goth. And it was also a bit of a challenge because every other time that I've redone a goth build in like my save files, I've done it with all of the packs. So this is the first time that I'm trying to build the goth house and like replicate their personalities with only base game, and it was honestly, it was quite a fun challenge. I really enjoyed it, and I actually found that building like the bottom floor went by like that was so fucking fast. I decorated everything so swiftly. Taylor Swift, bitch. That's me drawing a halo on my head. So yeah, honestly, I feel like this just speaks to me. I was gonna say it speaks to my inner Victorian child, but once again, I need to stop thinking that if I was in the Victorian period, I would be middle class and living in these types of places and having this type of luxury. That would not be me, babe. My entire family, blue collar workers. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably be dead. And if I wasn't dead, oh God, I don't even know what to think. Like, honestly, I think about this all the time. I am so thankful that I was born in my current generation, because literally, oh my God, I would be in the workhouse. Do you know what I mean? I cannot fit into society. I've tried, babe. I've literally tried. Makes me want to commit self-oof. TMI, sorry. I might edit that bit out. That's TMI. But, you know, I do have autism. So, yes, the world is not built for me. And this is the probably potentially most progressive world we've had so far. So imagine putting me in any other decade, babe. Oh, I'd fucking crumble. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. That's a joke. I'm not a celebrity. If I was, I might have a chance at dating Matthew McFadden and becoming a home wrecker and making him divorce his wife for me. So, honestly, much to unpack. My mind is constant. It's a constant, inescapable thing that is just running and running and running and running and running, which is quite funny because my body has asthma, so my body can't run. So maybe my mind's like making the bridge in the gap. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And then the upstairs, swiftly moving back into a building conversation. The upstairs is also quite fun. I actually really of like Alexander's bedroom. His bedroom is like what I envisage a Victorian wealthy child's bedroom will look like. Victorian, Victorian, Victorian. I am obsessed. And yeah, I really like it. It's kind of like weirdly spaced out. It's spaced out. What I've noticed is like older bedrooms tend to be spaced, like the objects tend to be placed in different ways. That's just something I've noticed. I mean, design choices and stuff differ, don't they, throughout the centuries. But then, you know, Mortimer's bedroom is literally fucking... You know what I mean? Like totally goth. But then Cassandra's bedroom. Because see, when you're a teenager, like you just yearning to rebel, and it's like the perfect time. I think it's a healthy thing actually when teenagers start rebelling, because you know you got to find out like how far you can push, and if you don't rebel, then I think you just rebel later. I always think like it's easier and so healthy for teenagers to rebel in like a safe environment. My parents literally used to let me walk out of the fucking house, right? I regret this now, but it was a good thing for me. It was a learning curve. My parents let me walk out the house with eyeliner literally all there, and no one's gonna tell her. I mean, they did tell me. They did say, well, that's interesting. Do you know what I mean? But they let me. Like, I rebelled. Oh, fucking full out, actually. I rebelled with everything. Honestly, those years, dark time. Oh, little lost Jessie. But it was healthy for me because now I have a really secure sense of who I am as a person, and I've never lost that. And I imagine that Cassandra's going through like this rebellious thing where she's so opposite from parents, and so she actually lives in like that little, I want to call it a turret, but I know that it's not a turret because a turret is a bit where you peek through your cannons and pow. You know what I mean? So I imagine like she's going through her light phase. So you know when like kids from really loving families, it's me, I'm the kid, and my parents are so Middlesbrough as well. Like my parents are the epitome of just general northern working class parents. Sister is a complete chav, God love her. For me to rebel, it was to go the complete opposite way and become like a goth. Basically, I was a full-on emo. I was a scene queen. But then with Cassandra, it doesn't really work like that because she's been brought up like a goth. It's in the fucking name, do you know what I mean? So I thought that something that she could do was rebel the other way, and she come like the other girls. I just thought that was quite fun while still embracing like the gothy part of her. So her bedroom's actually quite light. It's a phase, Mom. It's a phase. Which I can't say that because Mom's fucking missing, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was a goth family household. I really enjoyed making this one. And then we move on to the Goth household. And you might be thinking, Jessica, we've just been on the Goth household. Contraire. This is the Goth household, spelt Van Gogh. I know that Americans pronounce it Van Gogh. In the UK, we pronounce it Van Gogh, so it works. And yes, some of these people, just ignore the fact that some of these Sims are called Goth. I changed my mind, didn't change the names. I will go back in and change the names. And originally the law was supposed to be that these are quite distant relatives. I'm going to axe that law because that is incest. No, because Cassandra is in love with the teenage daughter. So these are just like, imagine all the way through school, all the way through his career, the job, not the country. Mortimer has had this sworn enemy who copies every single thing that he does, but tries to make it out as if Mortimer's copying him. Imagine. All the people. So that is basically the premise of this family. Like, he is desperate to copy every single thing that Mortimer does. And they also managed to have a baby girl, which I'm pretty sure they called Cassie, because they're copying, you know what I mean? And they were quite lucky to have a baby girl the exact same time that Mortimer and Bella had a baby girl. And then Mortimer and Bella had a baby boy, and they were like, fuck. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta get another baby boy. So they had a baby boy, but that's why it's a toddler, because they saw Mortimer and Bella having a baby, and they were like, I gotta fucking do it. That's the premise of this. So they're basically sworn enemies, and they know who's copying who. It's obvious that the Goth family are copying the Goth family, but the rest of the world is kind of not really known, because I'm pretty sure his name's Martin Goth or something. Martin Goth is basically like the neighborhood savant. Like, he wants to befriend everyone in the neighborhood, and he's spinning, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. He's telling everyone that Mortimer is actually the one copying him, which then people start to suspect that Mortimer has more to do with Bella's disappearance than they're letting on. Is that the truth? Who are we to know? Who are we to know? Well, I know. She knows. Basically, the Goths are spreading lies about the Goths. But their teenage daughter has only fallen in love with Cassandra. Is literally an enemies to lover story. Absolutely fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. And as you can imagine, their house is like, I basically made it the epitome of the Goth family, but where the Goth staple colour is red, the Goth staple colour is green. But their house was a fucking hoot to build as well. I absolutely loved it. Their house is honestly probably bordering more on like this goth thing than the original goths, which I feel like is quite, it speaks volumes, do you know what I mean? Because they're just trying to copy everything that they do, but you know, once up them. The goths have been at Tenerife, the goths have been to 11erife, that kind of vibe. So I thought that was a bit of interesting lore as well, because something that The Sims 4, just tip something over, something that The Sims 4 hasn't really touched on that much is they haven't really established any deeper lore of characters that were already in the game. Like, lore that I enjoy in The Sims 4 is the pancakes. They've got quite a bit of lore, but previous families that I've been in, there's not that much lore. Apart from, you know, the Caliente family, because Don is dating the mom, which, you know, it really does feel illegal. So I'm just going to ignore it. And I will be changing it, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to add on to that and, like, kind of take these characters that haven't really had a lease of life in The Sims 4 yet and really give them a lease of life. But also, I'm really curious to know if there's any characters that you want me to bring back, because that is something that I've done in my previous save files. I might bring, oh my God, Brandy Broke. Oh my God, could you imagine her? She definitely killed her husband. Definitely. I watch enough murder mysteries. I fall asleep to murder mysteries. Gorgeous girls fall asleep to true crime. Hey hands, I'm recording a little extra voiceover bit for this because the original voiceover was 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and I'm still trying to like judge how long I should be recording for to be able to cover an entire speed build, because I've never really done anything like this. I've done speed builds before obviously, but I've never done multiple ones in the same video, and I'm trying to kind of work out which bits to highlight and which bits to remove, so I focused more on the goth household because we all know and love them. But then for the goth household, God bless them, I kind of left them out in the lurch. I think I spent too much time explaining them and creating sim, which meant that the creative sim footage could be a lot slower than the build, and I think I need to judge it. It's still a learning curve for me, but obviously I'm open to any and all suggestions, and I really want you to feel like you've got an input on the save file as well, because I am not the best simmer. I'm a good simmer, I know my way around build and buy mode. A creative sim, not so much, and lore, I'm quite a I am a whore for lore. Actually, I am also a whore for Thor. I watched Thor recently for like the umpteenth time. I could let him hammer me. Thank you. No further questions on that. I also, while I was building the goth household, not this one, but the other one, I was also watching Howl's Moving Castle, because can you believe it? I've never actually seen it before. Yes, 10 out of 10. Enjoyed it. And you know what? I'm really struggling actually, because I'm trying to throw all this shit at you when I really just want to be talking about Victorian and the Victorian period. And I just feel like it's such a crime that I can't enjoy Victorian clothing, not because anyone's stopping me, but because I just personally don't enjoy it. I'd love to love it. Do you know what I mean? But I love all of the crime in Victorian time. I love hearing about the different classes, because if you didn't know, the UK is an inherently classist society. There is classist tones in every single thing. I've even experienced it in my accent. The amount of times I've heard someone assume I was stupid or speak to me like I'm a lower member of society purely for my accent. Wow, this is a detour I didn't expect to take, but I think it's an important one, because people who aren't aware of UK's culture might not know how this kind of thing operates. But yes, the UK, very classist society. And I didn't go to Red Brick University. Red Brick are like the higher up university. I say the higher up. They're like the elite universities. Literally the finger brackets in the air. Kind of like Harvard and Yale. All the universities in the UK cost the exact same. It just higher admission scores. And I struggled my way all through school. Not because I wasn't clever, which there'd be no problem if I wasn't. But I was clever. I just didn't have the means around me to be properly supported throughout school. I was late diagnosed autism. So I didn't go to a Red Brick University. I went to a Metropolitan University. During that time, I actually stayed with people who went to a Red Brick University. We shared accommodation with some of them. So I met some like friends of friends and stuff, and just the honest, rudest encounter, hearing about like where I was from being compared to sewage, and you're just like, babe, literally. Yeah, and it was quite bizarre to hear about that. And I also hear about it a lot at Durham University, which is actually a red brick university in the northeast of England. And people that aren't from the northeast of England come there and are classist to people there, as if the way you talk has any implication, gives anything away to who you are as a person or your intellectual ability. Bear in mind, intellectual ability means absolutely fucking nothing. It's bizarre. But yeah, in case you didn't know, lol, the UK, inherently classist society, not fun. This is why I always talk about when I was a Victorian, I wouldn't have been doing this, because it's classist, babe. I would simply be dead, probably. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that talk. I know I did. I could talk, honestly, I can talk at length.
And I will. Thank you.
So yeah, that is this little corner of Willow Creek. The other two houses, I don't think I'm going to cover in a video, but just know that they will be Victorian as well. I might put another family in, but I think I want to keep one empty. I think that's a rule I want to have for each neighbourhood, like just keeping one part of the neighbourhood empty so you can move in if you want without feeling guilty about having to evict someone. Do you know what I mean? I haven't spoke pretty much a word all weekend, and then now I'm like... I've been saving all my words for you. Yes, you. I've been saving all my love for you. Thank you. I'm also going to do a video on my autism, which is something that I've really wanted to talk about in depth for a while, actually, because it really does impact every single move I make, and therefore it impacts this channel a lot. That is Snape, by the way. So leave any questions about autism down below as well, because I'm at a point where I've actually embraced it and like really understood it, instead of like almost borderline being ashamed of it, which not ashamed, I just used to hide it a lot. I didn't really like talking about it, but now I'm like, autism, agender, asexual, AAA battery babe. All right, love yous, bye.